Hi, this is Warren B., author of Spook the Spiritual. Today we're going to talk about another interesting topic. Again, I'm in my office downtown Cleveland. Got a consulting company called Crystal Stare International. Today we're going to talk about an interesting subject though. This subject is entitled How to Break a Bitch. Now before you get all worked up over nothing, you have to understand that there's a difference between a lady, a woman, and a bitch. Now a lady is at the top of your echelon of the female influence. Everybody knows a lady when they see a lady. Well put together, high self-esteem, self-respect, high class, and definitely not to be confused with a typical woman or a bitch, because she don't even hang in certain categories or in certain circles. A lady is at the top of the food chain. A woman could be like your working class female, she works a job, could have had a tough background, but nevertheless got her basic principles and everything in place, in order. But a bitch is something else. Now in the pimp game, it's understood that pimps don't send women to the streets. They send hoes and or bitches. One of the things that differentiates a bitch from a woman and a lady is that a woman, a real woman, she's looking for a real man. She's looking for someone that she can trust to transfer the responsibility that most single black women have to deal with on their own. She's looking for a man that she could trust to give some of that responsibility to allow him to be that man in her life. In all organizations, someone has to be the boss. Even if it's just one person, you got to be the boss of yourself. So a woman, a real woman, not a bitch or a hoe, but a real woman is looking for a man. She's looking for a man that she could trust like that. One of the things, incidentally, that places the average hoe today, from a pimp hoe perspective, above the average woman today, is a lot of women today are starting to get confused because they're starting to believe that they're independent. There's no such thing as independence in all of nature. Nothing supports the concept of independence. The ecosystem doesn't support any such concept. If you're a single mother and you got children, you didn't have those children by sticking your finger in your twat and you impregnated yourself. And although you might hate the man that you had a baby with, that child is not your seed. That's his seed. So you can hate him all you want to, but that man gave you your kids. Don't forget that. He gave you those kids. Because if you got pregnant by somebody else, you wouldn't have had your kids. Those are his seeds. God gave the seed to the man, not the woman. We plant the seed in what earth we decide to plant it in. So, a I want to deal with the differentiation between a bitch and a woman, because a woman don't need to get broke. That's one of the points that I want to make and that I want to deal with. A woman doesn't need to get broken. She's already looking for a functional situation to be involved in. Beyonce knows the difference between Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. Y'all the ones that don't know the difference. You think that one is the same. Beyonce, no. One is one that she puts on to sell records. You know, the one y'all trying to act like. But the real one is married to Jay-Z. Chasing dreams again. So, a bitch is someone who probably comes from a tough background, like a lot of women have, especially in the black community, unfortunately. But the basic things that are necessary for a female to act out her femininity must be taught to her. And in order for that to happen, she must be broken from her dysfunctional perspective and way of looking at things. You may not like some of the words that I'm using, but what I'm saying is, if you're a woman, a real woman, not because you got a vagina, because every man with a penis is not a man. In fact, a lot of them aren't men. They're just boys masquerading as men. Well, the same applies to you. You ain't better than us. Just because you're a female don't make you a lady. Just because you're a female don't make you a woman. I know. So the whole thing is, if some people have to be re-educated to a place where they're supposed to be, because a lot of us, we're dysfunctional, man. As a friend of mine calls it dysfunction junction. So a bitch has to be broken, whereas a woman is already a woman like God created her. She already is looking for a solid situation. And then a lady, of course, is like the same thing but an even higher caliber, if you will. So that's the first thing I want to deal with. We're talking about breaking a bitch. If you're not a bitch, then we're not talking about you. But if we are, if the shoe fits, you know what I'm talking about, then you're wearing it. And if you got on sandals and your feet is fucked up, then you need to get your motherfucking feet done. I don't want to look at that shit. So, generally amongst bitches, there's this concept, and a lot of women too, of independence. And like I said, there's no such thing as independence in nature. Even when you talk about God, you talk about praying to God, you believe in God. Well, guess what? You also believe in the feminine principle. You call it nature. Mother Nature. That's why you don't call it Father Nature. Because even though you didn't understand it, you have a spiritual mother and father. You see God as the masculine principle, but you didn't realize that you was also calling on your moms. Mut Neter, as we called it in Africa. Later it was changed to Mother Nature. But there's no such thing as independence. Women already understand that. But the subject matter is how to break a bitch. And the whole thing is, first of all, brothers and men, you gotta have a plan. And I'm not talking about I'm gonna be a rapper and I'm 40-something years old. I'm talking about a plan and a working plan. A woman could do nothing by herself. She don't need a nigga to sit on the couch and eat chips and try to get her pregnant to go with all of the other 8 motherfucking kids that he has. That's not what she needs. She needs a man. I don't believe in the concept of a good man. A man is a man. Either you doing what you're supposed to do or you're not. Nobody's perfect, but a man is a man, and then there's, boys masquerading as men, which we see a lot of, unfortunately. We could deal with the causes of that later, but for now, you got to have a plan. How you gonna bring, a sense of manhood to the table when you're dealing with a female, and you don't have a plan? And if you have a plan, then you can also figure out how she can fit into that plan. If she's supposed to follow you, where the fuck is y'all going? To the couch? To the bedroom? Nah, fool. While you freaking that mild, you need to figure out what the fuck you gonna do with your life. Otherwise, you don't need a woman. Because a woman, from a Christian standpoint, if that's where you're coming from, is a helpmate. What is she helping you do? Freak your mild? Nah, nigga. Nah. Now, once you have a plan, and it's a working plan, right? If the female in question is not willing to help you, if she don't believe in that plan, if she doesn't support you, then you need to drop the package and start over. Drop the package. Say that shit with me. Say, drop the package. Drop the package and start over. If you ask me, there's no single female that exists that I can't do without. I ain't never met her yet. She don't exist. There's no female I can't live without. Except moms, because I wouldn't have been able to exist. But I'm saying in terms of, from that point, it's no female that I can't do without. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a man of God. And, the work that I came to do is going to get done one way or another. And if it's not going to be with the help of a particular female in my life, then it'll be done with the next one. I promise that. So, if she's not willing to help, she could step. Okay? If she's not willing to assist, right? She could cease and desist. You don't need her, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that's a complaint that brothers have, that they don't find women that's willing to support them. Ladies, you can't be a bitch and a Michelle Obama. You got to be one or the other if you're trying to be on the arm of, the next black president. You're going to have to step your fucking game up and know how to play your role. So once you decide on what you want to do and you have a specific goal as a man, and that woman is unwilling to support you, or she kind of iffy, give her an ultimatum. Get her an ultimatum. Let her know, hey, it's my way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? And you need to be able to stand by that, because sometimes a woman is going to try you just to see if she's going to call your bluff. She might just try you and put the relationship on the line just to see if you're going to stand on it. You know what I'm talking about? And if you stand on it, then if you decide to stay with her, you know what I'm saying, you might have a worthwhile situation. But ladies, I want to say this. A black man don't want to go out into this racist ass white world and deal with all of the racism and prejudice against him as a black man, and then come home and deal with a quarrelsome woman. If you that quarrelsome woman, why don't you just be by your fucking self? Don't nobody want to argue with you. Alright? But brothers, once you get a plan and you got a female that's down, or even if you don't, be like LeBron James, baby. Stay down for your crown regardless of who the fuck hates you. You did. Get yours. It's a lecture that I have out. It's called Are Black Women Really Independent? It's not a hate tape, or a CD rather, against sisters. I've only dated black women. So You know, I ain't no type of Woods. You dig? 1/3 this, 2/3 that. You dig? They'll bring the nigga out your ass. They don't give a fuck about you. But anyway, some of us are just slower to learn that shit. But anyway, if you'd like to give my lecture, Are Black Women Really Independent? You can call me at 216-630-8843. And I sell my CDs for $9.99 plus shipping and handling. Alright? Peace.